Hi, shalom, friends. Okay, let's see if you could get the answer to this one. What weighs less than a third of an ounce and can travel up to the speeds of 30 miles per hour? Or what has a very, very, very short lifespan and yet it could travel hundreds of miles? Well, if you guessed the butterfly, you guessed correctly. Though my suspicion is you didn't guess it, you probably knew it. Yeah, the butterfly is an amazing, it's a marvel. It's a tiny, tiny creature. And yet it's beautiful, it's delicate, it's exquisite. It's probably one of the most famous motifs from the insect world that features in photography and in art. It's even made into jewelry. Well, let's think about this for a moment. This beautiful, delicate creature that the Almighty God created, how did it start? Well, usually life begins with birth. So we're talking about an egg, a butterfly egg, which in itself is a miracle. It sort of sticks to a leaf with a type of a glue, and out comes a caterpillar. Now, we've all seen caterpillars. They actually look like tiny little worms of green. And not to insult any worms, they're not that much to look at. And all this caterpillar does essentially is eat. It eats and pretty much anything that grows from the ground. And after it eats, it does nothing. There's a period of time when it's in its cocoon, literally hanging upside down. There's no movement because it does not want to be eaten up by a friendly bird. And some 2 weeks later, it pops out. And it has wings. And it flies. And this metamorphosis is just, we just take it for granted because it's part of nature. But this is like absolutely astounding. This tiny creature that can't get too much closer to the ground than it is. It's a caterpillar. There's no way in the world you look at a caterpillar that you could imagine a delicate butterfly. It's just like, it's not even science fiction, and yet it's real. So here's a silly question for you. What would it be if the butterfly went to bed as a caterpillar and it awoke as a butterfly? What happens if it didn't realize that it's actually a butterfly? And instead, it thought that it has to crawl on the ground. Well, of course, it's a silly idea because it has wings and it automatically flies. But if you could get into the mind of this butterfly, what is it thinking? It starts off as a caterpillar and it wakes up and suddenly it's beautiful. Well, my friends, that's the reality. What does this have to do with the YouTube? Well, I was thinking of the Jewish people and using the butterfly as a metaphor. For many, many centuries, Jewish people have been looked upon by the nations of the world as a caterpillar, a lowly people without a homeland and without an army, without great wealth, and they're odd and they're different, and we all know the long saga of anti-Semitism. And just like we look at a caterpillar as a nuisance at best, so too, sadly, they looked at the Jewish people like that. And how did the Jewish people respond? Well, with few exceptions, many times we went into a cocoon where we insulated ourselves, protected ourselves, and tried our best just to live our life. And then someone forgot to tell us we became butterflies. And some people still have the self-image of the Jew in exile who's a caterpillar, when in the reality, during this very long period of exile, we've been developing wings and delicate beauty and amazing abilities. The wings of a Jew is loving God and fearing God. And the beautiful colors of all of the colors of the rainbow, which sometimes you could see shimmering on the wings of butterflies, in all cases are reflecting the beauty of the Almighty. So my friends, it's right before Passover. This is the festival of liberation. I think one of the most important aspects of the holiday is to liberate ourselves from the images that have been superimposed upon us by people who are not our friends. We are beautiful. We have wings. We are everywhere. We have accomplished. We will continue to accomplish. Let's hope and pray that the world, as it is delighted with the shimmering beauty of the butterfly, will certainly appreciate the transformative effect of the Jewish people upon the world. Shalom.